Dungeons and Dragons. Is this product worth opening, or should you just lock it away in your dungeon and wait years to see what happens to the price? Welcome back to my channel. I am Mattcaster Mage, and I do make Magic the Gathering content every single day, so please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy watching my content. And also, hit that bell notification, because, to be honest, if you don't hit that bell notification, there's not a big chance that my videos will even appear in your subscription box, so please do that if you enjoy my videos. Now, Dungeons and Dragons is fast approaching. We're almost at pre-release right now, and it looks like this set has got an issue. It's got a few issues, actually. Well, it's not selling as hot as people thought it was going to be selling. People are canceling their pre-orders, and this usually happens when people are upset about the overall spoilers of a set, and then they just kind of say, is that it? Well, I'm going to try to cancel my pre-orders. Now, another time that I remember this happening, at least my LGS, was when they actually had the collector booster boxes for Throne of Eldraine. Now, the original prices of these collector boxes were like over $400 at my LGS, which I think was a little bit of overcorrection. They shouldn't have priced it that high. But regardless, there was so many people that were actually wanting to cancel their pre-orders that they just ended up lowering the price of the box, because after the spoilers, and I remember they did a Throne of Eldraine opening to get people excited about collector booster packs, and it was so underwhelming that people immediately wanted to cancel their collector booster packs because, again, this is a set that's going to be mostly standard playable. There's not a lot of overpowered creatures, which is sometimes, it's actually a good thing in a way. I don't think that they should have too much power creep, because all the bans that we saw because of Uro, Oko, and the power creep in standard kind of left a bad taste in players' mouths, and they actually wanted to shift away from that format, move more to Commander, which seems to be the biggest focus right now. But speaking of focus, I'm going to go back to D&D. So D&D, not a lot of power level there, a lot of vanilla creatures. Some people are very upset about this mechanic. Some people are also upset about the dice. They're like, well, I don't want to be rolling dice all the time during a game. Yeah, well, I get that, to be honest. Actually, I get that. It can be a little bit annoying, but when it comes to the flavor of the set, and Dungeons & Dragons, it's all about the D20, right? Dungeons & Dragons is all about rolling dice. Essentially, it's an adventure game that you mostly play just by, rolling the dice. So there is a lot of flavor to this set, and if you are a Dungeons & Dragons fan, this might be a set worth getting and even holding, and maybe keeping a couple boxes at your house to have friends over and have a draft. I mean, that's what I plan on doing with this set. Have a nice fun draft environment. I think that's where this set is going to be probably the most utilized, at least for fun. But apart from that, there's other weird things like the dungeons, which I think are pretty cool. But these are new things that they're bringing into the standard format, replacing core sets. And here's my issue. So core sets were like kind of a great way to get new players in, because a lot of the abilities were very stagnant abilities, very basic abilities that have been in Magic for years, so they're easy for players to pick up. You got like Vigilance, you have creatures with Trample, maybe a bit of haste here and there, First Strike, Double Strike, Flying. Like, a lot of it's just very basic creatures, right? I mean, some of them are really powerful, and I think core sets are good, but I'm going to get to that at the end of this video. But this doesn't really do that. Dungeons and Dragons, it's bringing a lot of new mechanics into Magic, which I don't know how newer players are going to respond to, especially people who are just learning the game. Now, Magic, it's a pretty complex game. It's not Pokemon. It's not, like, for the most part, the basics, you once you get that, it gets a little easier to understand. But for newer players coming into the game, I don't know if Dungeons and Dragons is actually going to be a good set for that. Now, core sets historically, which is what it's it's replacing, have always been great for newer players. Now, when it comes to financial value, here's a little bit of a worrying, I guess, sign. Well, not only the people who are canceling all their pre-orders, the prices of these cards at pre-release are not quite as high as previous standard sets. Obviously, there's going to be a huge slope downwards, because that's usually what happens when a new set comes out. But for the most part, if you look at all the core sets, they don't really age that well. Financially, they're usually boring, stale. They basically collect dust for years on shelves before they see any sort of uptick in price. I mean, look at the past core sets go from M10 to now. I mean, yeah, a few of them have doubled in money, like value-wise, but not a lot. I mean, you're talking like some of them are over 10 years old and they've barely seen that much of a price increase. I mean, you could put your money into so many different stock options and collectibles and you could double your money within 10 years pretty easily with other collectibles. But when it comes to a lot of core sets, not really doing it, you know, and this is where I actually will maybe throw in a little bit of glimmer of hope here your way. So core sets are usually very stale, boring. They have old mechanics that are good to get new players into the game. And because of that, they're kind of overlooked by seasoned players and seasoned collectors who kind of want something spicy, something new, something unique that a set will bring into Magic. Core sets usually don't do that. However, Dungeons & Dragons, while it is replacing a core set, it has a bit of that core set feel to it. It's not really at all a core set. With all the new mechanics they're bringing into the game, there's barely any reprints, if not any at all, and core sets were always known for bringing in, you know, a bunch of reprints that kind of need to be reintroduced into sets to lower the price of a certain card. Core Set 2021 was a perfect example of that with all the reprints that we got, like Ujin in there, right? But overall, I actually think that this could age well. I think it's very unique. It's a very unique set, not like core sets. And I think in the future, especially if Magic grows and we get more players who like Dungeons & Dragons into Magic the Gathering, this set could age very well, and I could actually see a pretty bright future for this set. So that's just my 2 cents, but there's also the flip side where it could go just the way of a core set and, you know, tank in value. I mean, look at the prices of core set 2020, 2021, and core set 2019. They're pretty much lower than the pre-release price that they were actually sold for, so not a good sign. But anyways, I wanted to just drop this video topic with you guys. I want to hear your thoughts down below. Please leave them in the comment section. I do read every single comment on my channel. And with that being said as well, subscribe if you like my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Did I say next one or neck one? Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys, and also to my coffee fund, because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.